Hi everyone, my name is Donna. I'm the owner here at Bookkeeping Made Simple. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about payroll. As some of you may know, as you may be aware, back in August, President Trump signed in a deferral on payroll taxes, mostly due to the COVID-19 issue. So there was then an option to defer payroll taxes, which was, a relief to those who were still employed or still having taxes withheld from their paychecks. Now we need to know what to do to defer. Just means you put it off. It's postponed. It doesn't mean it's gone forever. So now what? Okay. There is a Consolidation Appropriation Act. And it says that the end date of the period is postponed from April 30th to December 31st, 2021. And that is for those, now those payroll taxes do need to be taken out and they need to be paid into the government. So, like I said, a deferral doesn't mean a forgiveness. It just means that it's been postponed. Sometimes we can make those deferrals permanent, but I don't know if this is going to be one of those cases. This is something that I'm really looking into. I really am looking into tax relief for my clients. So I'm interested to find out about these payroll extended due date. I speak English fluently. Some mornings you would never know from the way I talk. Also, I've talked to business owners who took out a payroll protection loan and were not aware that it could be forgiven. If you need paperwork on the forgiveness process or you need help going through the forgiveness process, please give us a call. All of our contact information is in the description of our videos. So I am huge about paying things that should be paid, but if they're offering forgiveness and you don't take it, take it. Take it. There's still a lot of questions. There's a lot of predicaments that are coming up with this tax season. And a lot of it is because of the COVID. Most of us who are doing taxes would just as soon get it over with as quickly as possible. The fact is that because we have not received all the guidance we need to be able to do taxes accurately, this is guidance coming from the federal government. I see a lot of extensions being filed. So same thing with last year. The April 15th extension was postponed till July 15th, and a lot of tax preparers said, we just want to get this over with. Let's get this done. Honestly, let's get it done. So there's a lot of planning opportunities related to the CARES Act. I've talked about this before. I want to talk about it again. Please give me a call. Let's schedule a tax planning session. There are, this is in the Coronavirus Aid Relief Bill, the Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security Bill, the CARES Act, and the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. Those provide some awesome, possibly refundable tax credits. If you were due a stimulus payment and you did not receive it for whatever reason, we need to account for that. That could be a refundable credit. Your payroll protection loans, as I said, we are in the middle of round 2 of payroll protection funding. So please reach out to me if you need a payroll protection loan to keep your business afloat. I know this has been horrific. I mean, horrific. I just feel like the people in Washington do not understand what it's like for us with boots on the ground, in the trenches, small business owners. They don't get it. They don't get it. They know what their constituents are telling them maybe, but they really don't understand. Most of them have never owned a small business, so they don't understand. They don't understand what it's like to sweat over, am I going to make payroll? Do I need to close my doors? What about all the waste if I have perishables that have to be accounted for and repurchased? How do I get my business back to where it was? And I wish I had answers. Well, I do, but I don't know that politicians care what I have to say. But forgiveness of payroll protection is excluded from gross income, but you cannot deduct expenses that you used payroll protection to pay for. So it's either it was forgivable and it was counted as gross income, which meant it was taxable, and in which case you could take all those deductions, or it was forgivable, it was not taxable, but you can't take any deductions. So they've gone with the second one. It is not taxable. You cannot take any deductions. If that changes, and it might, I will let you know. This is predicated on just a lot of things: how much you paid in payroll, how much of that loan you used to cover payroll costs, or covered rent, or interest on a covered mortgage, or covered utility bills. If you have used that payroll protection for those purposes, then you can get it forgiven. If you used it for other purposes, then it is a loan. It's payable at, I think, 2%, and I think it's a 5-year loan. But there are a certain amount of it had to go through for payroll, rent, or interest on a mortgage, and utilities, the things that the bare bones that you needed to keep your business open. So there's a lot going on with payroll protection still. I am like looking things up as we speak, trying to figure out what they're deciding to do where this comes into play. They did add a refundable credit. If you are one of my clients and you're interested in getting this refundable credit, and honestly, you should be interested in getting this refundable credit, make sure that you talk to me. We're really, I hate to say free money from the government, because it's not free. It has to be repaid. And I won't go into that, but if they're shutting you down, they should pay for that. Okay. So there's also some sick leave and family leave credits that are available if you were affected by COVID. Make sure you talk to me about those. There's some loss and interest limitation relief that we would need to discuss as you come into your tax appointments. There's relief for federal taxpayers, we're all federal taxpayers. Individual taxpayers, not necessarily business owners. I do individual taxes as well as business taxes. The only tax I don't do is publicly traded corporations, and that is so far out of my, I would have to have years of internship, and I don't have years to do that. So there's just a lot that's going on, and I keep talking about kind of the same things over and over, but the information keeps changing. And I have to get up every morning and look. I look in the Journal of Accountancy. I look in Accounting Today. I look sometimes on the IRS website. I'm looking to see what is changing, what the guidelines are, what for retirement plans. Did you take a distribution from your retirement plan to cover expenses for 2020 because you were affected by COVID. If you did, all of a sudden those distributions are different. They're going to be treated differently for tax purposes. You may not have early withdrawal penalties. We need to plan this. We need to be very strategic about it. So I will be out January 28th during lunchtime to attend another seminar on all of this. I'm very thankful to ADP, who is our payroll tax partner for some of our clients. They provide these trainings to me free of charge so that I can kind of try to stay on top of everything that's going on. This is almost a full-time job to just stay on top of the tax laws, honestly. So if you would like a tax strategy session, the booking page it'll be your initial strategy session. I'm just putting the link for our booking page in the description. Would love to talk to you. Usually what I like to do is I like to actually look at your books, maybe even look at last year's taxes, and then start looking to see what tax credits we think we can get for you. Sometimes we don't even know until we file what tax credits are going to be available, because again, the reason tax season is starting so late this year is that everything is still fluid. So it just seems like just as I'm getting a handle on one thing, they change it. It's just insane. And like I said, this is almost a full-time job, just trying to figure out what the government's going to do next. I wish they would decide on something, but the IRS and the AICPA, which is the professional association of CPAs, which is not what that stands for, but they keep going back and forth because AICPA has a lot of pull on how some of these tax laws are going to be applied. So we pay attention to that. Any sort of accounting or auditing or tax, the AICPA is a big one. The Association of Auditors, I can't think of all the acronyms, but there's a similar association of auditors. They weigh in on a lot of this stuff because we're the accounting experts, and so they are really looking at going, well, if you're going to tax them, they have to be able to take the deductions, and if you're not going to let them take the deductions, it can't be taxed. Otherwise, it's not right. It's not fair. It's not. This is not doing what you said that you wanted it to do. So they do go back to Congress. They do go back to the IRS. They do hash this out in the tax courts. And I am trying to make sure that I give my clients the best possible information. Also, kind of an interesting thing about the tax code, because it is so broad and it covers so much, and there's so much precedent. A lot of times we can find loopholes. It may take a little bit of digging, but we can find loopholes if it's at all appropriate. Sometimes they don't work for the kind of industry that you're in, but we really try to keep the tax bill down. I have just filed taxes for a client, and then I told them, don't pay the bill yet. As soon as they get that, we're going to redo those returns. We're going to file amendments, and I'm not sure that this is what you should be paying. So lots and lots going on. I think so we can amend returns. We can amend returns up to 3 years after the date that they were filed. And we want to make sure, if we can go back through some of the things that I talk about are the really simple ones that most people don't know about. If you have a business loss, you can take that loss, you can apply it to years in which you made a profit, and you can wipe out your tax bill that way. There's a lot of things that we can do to decrease your tax bill from previous years up to a certain point, and to decrease your tax bills for following years if we plan it. So we have to make sure that your business spending is strategic. And in order to do that, we have to really be in the trenches with you and help you plan your spending and make sure that You are spending money on things that are going to be tax deductible to you later. So I do have a lot of clients that will tell me things like, well, I didn't realize my profit was that low. And I was like, we wrote things off on purpose. Look at this. You know, I have one that was, they're on TV a lot. And here in Utah, I won't say who it is. They're on TV a lot. And so they were saying, well, this seems awfully low. You know, the bottom line, my profit on my profit and loss seems awfully low. And I said, you're on TV. Do you know what that means? That means your cosmetics are a write-off because you're on TV. Even though I'm on video a lot, I might not be able to write mine off. Most people can't. I said, your hairstyling for you, because you're a TV personality, is a write-off. It really is, because you make a living based on your appearance. Doesn't work for everyone. So it's like, you have to kind of keep that in mind. If your clothing is for TV, you know, that's where you get into some interesting, you know, write-offs. There are some ways to make it work. That does not mean that you can make everything work. I go back to I've had several clients, not just one, several clients, not all in Utah, by the way, but try to write off adult websites and adult companionship. That cannot be written off because the government does not allow you to write off bad behavior. But there's a lot of things that we can do that will manage your tax bill. That's it for today. Oh my gosh, there's just so much going on, folks. Please feel free to reach out to me to make an appointment. I am interested in helping you lower your tax bill, decrease your tax burden, and make things as easy for you in your business as possible moving forward. A lot of people's problems with taxes, by the way, is that they didn't plan. And so they didn't, when you don't plan and you're not preparing every week moving forward, then it becomes a big hassle at the end of the year. Part of what we do is to make sure that this is not a hassle. We want to make sure that this is all taken care of. So we are looking at making sure that how do I put this? We're looking at making sure that the whole process from January 1st to December 31st is as simple as possible, so that on April 15th, you don't have any surprises. So that when you have to, I have a client that needed me to run 1099s, and I've run 1099s for him every year, and I've been after him all year long. I need this information from your clients or from your contractors before I can even cut them a check, before I even want you to cut them a check. And when he did what I asked him to do, it was 3 clicks of a mouse. It wasn't a long drawn out process. I have other clients that I tell them what I need. They don't get it to me in time, and then they get mad at me because I didn't do 1099s because I didn't have any information on any of the people that they said they needed to send 1099s to. It's not on me. It's not on me. That's kind of it for today. Lots going on. You know, by the way, when I talk about tax strategies, I will not do anything that will land me in jail. Just so you know, I get horror stories in my email box about tax preparers that just, they totally didn't do what they were supposed to do. And rather than, you know, they couldn't defend it. They just couldn't defend it. So when you are a tax preparer and you do things badly and the IRS catches you, there are some pretty nasty repercussions. So everything that I do with my clients, I have to make sure that I can defend it. I have to be able to defend it in the tax code. I have to be able to defend it in precedent from the tax courts, other documentation, the journals of accountancy, and that kind of thing. I have to be able to say, well, this is what led me to believe that this was perfectly okay. And so I tend to be a bit more by the book, but the book gives me a lot of leeway. So I will talk to you tomorrow. I am really, really excited to help my clients reduce their tax bill, improve their bookkeeping systems, and help them make their businesses more profitable. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great day.